Hey everyone, how's it going? This is TJ, Taurai, Jack, and this is welcome to Friday. Is the new Monday, and today we've got a cool mate of mine. He's called Chad Ackerman, and Chad and I we met a couple of months ago, possibly last year, isn't it, Chad?
Yeah. It's possibly last year. Yes, last year, in September maybe, August, September, or
No,
July. One of
no,
those
no,
months.
no, no. It was in winter because you were overdressed when I met you. Um,
Okay, then it's June or July. Then it's June or July. I remember.
it
Yes.
was peak of winter for us, and yeah. So and Chad, just like me, he's an active property investor, and it's good to have like-minded people coming through and have discussions like these ones because Chad has been at it, and the other day, so Chad is a mate of mine on my Facebook wall, and he was celebrating his first number one rental unit, and so I joined him to celebrate and said, "Good, great, let's do it." Welcome to the team, man. So, with that in mind, we're also going into December. A lot of people are getting bonuses and they're just going to blow it away. And I thought it could be good for us to have Chad onto the call so that he can just give us some snippets of his journey and how he's been doing, so that at least if someone ends up banking 100,000 Rand bonus, at least they'll know what to do with it. Welcome.
And talking about that 100 Rand bonus, I'm always telling people what
Yeah,
they should do because they're always running to the stuff they like.
yeah,
Um, Great for us. We like property. So whenever I see people with money, I always ask them, "What are you gonna do with that?" I know it's prying sometimes, but and then I tell them, "You can make more money with it." So this is a great time to actually find people with money.
yeah. Good. So welcome, Chad, officially. And yeah, so tell us, who's Chad? I know your Ackerman is, I mean, your surname is Ackerman. Are you by any chance related to the great Ackerman?
I wish if I was related, I
Yeah,
wouldn't be on my first property too. I'd be way ahead. But I am Chad. My middle name is Antonio Ackerman.
yeah,
Um, I'm only 26 years old. I graduated um, from UJ, honors economics.
yeah. What did you study?
Um, Economics,
Okay, cool.
yeah. But then I graduated, into property. So, and that's ever since that's been my main thing. Um, I used to stay in south of Johannesburg, moved to the north. That was my
Yeah.
last mistake before getting into property.
Okay, okay. Let's unpack why was that a mistake?
If I can go back to my thinking at the time, I don't know if you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
My thinking was very poor dad at that time when I bought the house. So I was staying in Innerdale, and note, it was the year after I graduated and I started the job.
yeah,
So I started the job and I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of commuting about 2 hours a day.
yeah,
And so I was like, no, I'm gonna move to Randburg. I'm gonna be there. And I thought to myself, I'm gonna be working like 27 years. So I might as well be comfortable doing it.
yes,
Right after that, 4 months after that, I went to the first legacy training.
yeah,
Boom, boom,
yeah,
everything opened up. Everything opened up. I was like, I can't believe we just bought this house because I could have flipped 3 properties and I could have flipped 4 by now. So that
yeah.
was the first. That was the first opening to property.
Okay.
You see
What
that
what do
that
you
that's
what do
why
you what do you mean it was an opening? I mean your training
because
is a high level. What kind of training was it?
the first training was very basic.
Yeah,
Um, just the high level stuff. You can get a property for cheap, sell it for high, make
Yeah.
profit, invest in holding properties, get money in.
Yeah.
So what I had discovered then is I'd gotten into debt,
Yeah.
but not the positive debt.
Okay.
With positive debt that's going to make you money. So I realized I'm living in this place and I could have been further ahead, but it was also a great lesson.
Okay. Good. Good. So further to that lesson, what have you done to rectify that lesson?
Obviously, switched money around. I was initially thinking of selling the place, but I bought it with my mom.
Okay.
And
So
because,
so this place that we're talking about, that's the place that you're staying in.
yep, I'm right here, right now in the room. It's
Okay.
now looking at the market, it's actually was a bargain. We bought for 990,000. This is in Albertville,
Yeah.
Randburg.
Yeah.
It's 4 bedroom, 3 bathrooms, lounge,
Yeah.
TV room, garage, the pool.
That sounds like MTV stuff, man.
Exactly, exactly. And it was my mom's dream place, so that was also part of my decision making at the time.
Okay.
I was like, no, let me give my mom a good place. So she sold her place in the Delaware State, and she bought in around 1995. So she bought it for like 100,000 and
Yeah.
sold it for 500,000. So
Oh, okay. So that,
we took the proceeds from there and we
yeah.
held on to it. And that's
Yeah.
when we went to legacy for the first time. And
Yeah.
then we're like, whoa, this is what we can do with the proceeds of the money
Yeah.
instead of having to put it back in the house. Putting it back in this new house was our new idea, was our first idea.
Sure.
And then we heard of legacy and we're like, no. We can get property.
Yeah.
You see, so that's how um, my small stuff.
Good. So clearly, before you're a young guy, 26, and you're fully employed. You've got a 9 to 5.
Yes. Fully employed, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Hate working.
Okay.
Hate it. Hate it.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what. Apologies. And that's why I'm doing something
Okay.
for the fact
So in short, you're
because
trying to get out of the
sorry, exactly trying to get out of the rat race. I think I realized this possibly 3 months into my first job that I cannot be doing this for 27 years, but
Yeah.
I'm going to give it my best shot while I'm here. And now I'm already plotting when financial freedom will be.
Okay. Good stuff. Um. So you mentioned that you bought this particular property that you're staying with your mother. Um.
Yes,
So doesn't that affect um, your relationship with your mother in terms of, well, you're basically living with your mom, right? So you can't make a decision to sell, and
I can't. I can't.
okay, and by
So
the
I
sounds
can't.
of things, you also have seen that maybe this could have not been a great idea to buy this house. So
Yes. I think on the two fronts, it's from using my property investment mind.
yeah,
No, it wasn't a good idea. It wasn't a good idea at the time.
yeah,
Um, but emotionally, if you're gonna go and do an emotional purchase like everyone else would, it was
yeah,
a great idea. It was a great idea. Do not regret it at all.
yeah,
But if the money was free, I would have been further ahead to achieving financial freedom. But I guess sometimes it's the things we regret that push
yeah,
us to do even to push even more.
yeah. So
You see,
I
so
mean, you still need somewhere to stay, right? I mean, you can't be an investor and stay in a tree somewhere.
correct. I still need someone to say.
So there's a positive to it. You still have a luxurious house. I mean, from the ordinary
That
guy.
is true, and what came with it.
Yeah.
Well, remember when I bought the place? I was telling you I was commuting about 2 hours a day. That's coming and going, so that's possibly 4 hours taken away from me each day. That's
Yeah.
Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So that's about 20 hours I could have used for myself. Now it takes me 15 minutes to get to work.
Really?
Yes. You see, so now I can use that time more constructively, and I'm very happy for.
In what way? How are you using that time constructively? Yeah.
Apart from property investment, I'm also looking to look at actual businesses.
Okay.
And other than that, I am a musician as well.
Okay.
I love making my own music, so it gives me that time because when you come from working a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and you still have to travel 2 hours home,
Yeah.
and you're done, you're finished. I mean, you just want to sleep, you just want to rest. You actually get nothing done because at that time, if I was starting in the morning, I'd have to wake up at around 4:30
Yeah.
to dodge all the traffic to start work at 8 o'clock.
Sure.
You
Okay.
see, so that's a lot of time. And then the same thing in the afternoon. I wouldn't rush out at 4 because it's peak traffic time. So I'd wait another 2 hours at 6 and then go home.
Yeah, I hear you. That's a lot of
You
time
see,
that you're losing. Unproductive time.
exactly, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And by the time I get home and try to do something, I'm not doing it to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, so there were a lot of factors that went into the decision.
Chad, you're a young man, but those are words of wisdom, man. I think everyone has 24 hours, right? But
Correct.
our lives are changed for the fact that we are we are utilizing the 12, 16 hours differently, you know.
Exactly.
So if
Exactly.
you're telling me here 4 hours you're in traffic every day, yeah, that's unproductive. Yeah.
It's completely unproductive.
Yeah.
And I think since learning about, let's just say, financial freedom, I've
Yeah.
learned that what's the commodity that's more important to me than money is time.
My man. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't even get that back. You can never get that back.
Yeah.
So I hate, for example, I hate my time being wasted, and I hate wasting someone else's time because I hate my time being wasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see,
Respect.
so yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So before you went into your formal training, I mean, how did you start to wanting to get into property? I mean, there gotta be something that kind of like
Yes,
triggered
yes.
you to
It
jump into
really was.
training.
It really was. I remember when I was at varsity, I had a friend who stayed on campus.
Yeah.
Not on campus, off campus, but around the varsity. I asked her how much. It was a 4 bedroom place. Actually, it was a 5 bedroom place. 2 students per room. Each were paying, I think, 2,500 rand at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, wait. And I was like, wait. Let me go into property 24 quickly. Saw the price of the houses in the area. And I was like, well, if the, what do you call this? If the house can rent out for about 5,000 rand, or the bond could be about 5,000 rand,
Yeah.
and this person's renting out each room for 2,500, they're bagging in 5,000 rand. This is simple math, obviously,
Sure.
but you do that across a number of houses, you start making money. That's all I knew. I just thought you make money. That is it. I didn't know more. That was just basic math,
Yeah.
addition and subtraction.
Yeah.
Once I knew about that, I stuck to that, and I was like, oh, and I was always like, when I work, I'll get into it. I'll do the student rentals. I'll do that. That's easy money to make. No, I was thinking easy money there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was so yeah, that was the initial job, but then it was well over 2 years that I didn't pursue that. I
Yeah.
think I was still in varsity, and sometimes only a 9 to 5 can make you look for other ways to make
Yeah.
money.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So further on to that, well, I know that you've got this property. That's how we met. That's how our last conversation ended up, right?
Yes, yes.
And I'm just trying to figure out So you had this thinking. This was when you were still in varsity and you started working, and then at a particular time you went for training. Um, when you finished your training, did you just get out and you were able to find a property?
Not immediately. Not immediately. I think the one, sorry, the one thing that holds you back for a while is fear. Fear of failing. So, what I usually do is when I get something new, if someone presents an opportunity to me and says, "Look, this is how you can make money," I obviously go do all the digging. I cover myself in every area. So when I heard about in the first training I went, it was mostly about flipping.
Yeah.
So the
Well,
guy at the time,
what's flipping? What's flipping for a guy who doesn't know, who's listening in?
for a guy that doesn't know, flipping is buying an undervalued property. Most of the time, flipping is when the property is completely damaged, you're buying it for cheap. Let's say something that would go for normally for 500,000 is going for 200,000. You buy it for 200,000, you refurbish it for 100,000, and you sell it for more. So
Okay.
flipping, buy cheap, sell for more.
So in your mathematics, if you're in 500, if the retail price is 500 and you bought it for, we say 200, you plug in another 100, and maybe you still have other closing costs for another 50. So you're now around about at 350. If you subtract that from your 500, so you're going to be banking the difference, 150,000. So that's
Correct.
money in your pocket. That's flipping short.
That is flipping.
Okay, cool. So with that now, so you went to this training and they taught you around about flipping. How long did it take you until you got to a property that you were comfortable with?
It took me some time because of the method I was using,
Yeah.
as well as gaining the research. I was doing my due diligence all the time because I needed to know how am I going to approach this property. At the time, I wasn't sure which method I was going to do. It was going to be flipping or a rental. I had no idea because at one point it seems great to flip, and then you see the pros and the cons, and you see the cons, and you're like, okay, I'm not so comfortable with the cons. And you go to holding a property, and you see the pros and you see the cons. So for a long time, I had to get my mind right about which one I was going to go with.
Okay.
The I think one needs a certain mentality when you approach one of the two methods. I ended up going with holding simply because of wanting to achieve financial freedom. I felt that was more in line with the goal, and I know that achieving financial freedom is a very slow process, rewarding and very slow process.
So speaking of that, right? So I'm a great advocate of cash flow.
Yes.
Money that you're getting from the properties whilst you are chilling, and these properties they're in
Absolutely.
autopilot. But be is they may be it, there's no property that is in autopilot. All my properties that are now,
Yeah. No. No.
there's work that needs to be done.
No.
But
Always.
um, I find I struggle with people that that chase a lot of flips, and
Yes.
my view is that flips is just like having stock in a market. You know,
Correct.
you're buying it wholesale and you're just going to be selling. So if anything is going to happen to you today, you're not going to be, if we're chasing the financial freedom, you're not going to be 5% of financial freedom. But
Exactly.
a guy like you now, if anything is to happen to you now, your own, because of your one property that you now have that you've just recently started off on, you are now 2% of your financial freedom. I don't know what your figure is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. You're
So
absolutely right.
in this financial freedom, the monies that you're getting now, up until to the time that you're going to sell the property, is infinite profit.
Exactly. Infinite. Infinite.
right?
And that's what I'm in love with.
And for me, that's my space as well, right? And I'm very happy to be in that space because I can then, if we're talking about the 9 to 5, it now gives you an option. Do you stay? Do you not? Um,
Correct.
or do you take unpaid leave for the whole of November and December? Because you can afford to do it, right?
You can,
You're not
yes,
dependent
yes.
on that money, you know?
It's true,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So that I am passionately happy around that view because I think a lot of us we don't realize that that's the option, that's the power it gives us
Correct.
versus going into flip. I'm not saying flipping is bad,
Yes.
but I'm
No,
just
yes.
saying that you know.
I think, sorry to interrupt you. I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
the great thing about flipping, I always think about the tools that we have. We have the flipping and the holding method. I
Yeah,
think the flipping method would be great. Remember, I told you my mother and I, let's say we did not buy this house in Randburg, and I would have, let's say, known about property when I was still in Innerdale. My mind was thinking that in order to raise funds, I think the flip would be a good idea. So let's say
ah,
if I don't have the funds, and let's say I have no cash at all, but I have a deal,
yeah,
I could find somebody with money to
yeah,
help me, and I
yeah.
could take a share in the proceeds that we make. That would allow me to gain the capital to then
Yeah.
go buy a holding property.
Mm.
That's how I see flipping.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's a different way of skinning it, right? And
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes.
there's many doors to get to the financial freedom of heaven.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, so you've now bought this property, right, with your mom,
Yeah.
where you guys are staying in the MTV Creeper House. Now, you also now bought another property in my backyard. And which
My
is totally
favorite one.
unacceptable. You know, just coming through my bedroom without announcing yourself.
You left the gate open. You left the gate open.
Um, now, have you bought that property with your mom as well?
Yes. It was the first property we thought we could use the proceeds of the house we sold in India.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So
So we,
your mom is becoming your technically your partner now.
yes, in my, she plays more of the Minister of Finance.
Ah, I see.
You see, so I find the deals, she provides the money, and
Yeah.
um, we benefit from it.
Okay, good. So it's a household affair, which is good.
Yes, that's exactly what it is because I told her that I want this to live past us.
Yeah.
I don't want I don't have any kids yet, but when they
Yeah.
are born, when they are 18 to 20, 25, they should not have to go work somewhere. If
Sure.
they feel that they love baking and they want to open a bakery, they should be able to go do that. If they want to go study sound engineering and know
Yeah.
that the market is flooded with sound engineers, but they love doing that. I want that for my kids. So a lot of this is driving me for my own stuff,
Yeah.
but also when I think about my kids, I don't want them to have a job. Like
Sure.
if let's say they love being surgeons and they love helping people, they should have to do that. But if there's somebody somewhere crunching numbers because they need to put food on the table, I don't want them to live in a world like that.
Cool. I mean, it comes back to that whole conversation that we're having about options, isn't it? So you're planting
Exactly.
this now for your kids, which is great.
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So speaking of the opportunity that you've got and that you've sued now with your mom and your mom being your partner, um, where do you find these opportunities? You know, you speak of, you know, you're always doing researches. Where do you find them?
Most of the research, because I have a 9 to 5, so I don't have the luxury of time to actually go find the deals, actually drive around, speak to people. I really don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
So I just look, my method has been to use the internet,
Internet. Okay.
Property 24, Private 24.
Yeah.
Um, I think for investors like me, it's a very patient game because what
Okay.
I do is I'd have a list of properties that are on the market right now. Let's say if you have listed within the past week,
Yeah.
I I save a list and monitor you. So when I
Okay.
see, okay, this one's taking some time to sell, that's when I know, that's when I swoop in. Because if I see properties listed for 500,000, okay, let me watch it. That's out of my price range. I don't need that price range right now.
Sure.
I'll watch it and then inquire with the estate agent and be like, hey, I want to put in an offer for 250,000.
Yeah.
What? And then they'll be like, no. They get other offers in. People don't get bonds. The the owner gets impatient and just wants to deal and probably settles at like 300,000 or 350.
Yeah.
And this is probably maybe 4 to 6 months later.
Okay.
So sometimes the owners are stubborn and the property gets taken off the market, but that's okay. I've learned not to love the property until it is mine.
Okay. Good. So how many deals, if I may call it a funnel, because this sounds like a funnel to me, um,
Yes, yes.
how many opportunities do you have in your funnel right now that you are stalking, so to say?
Right now, rebuilding it again because at first I was looking at Windsor, so
Yeah.
now I'm trying to find similar areas. So it's with the funnel, there's a learning process as well because now I have to learn what's it like in this new area, what's it like there. So
Sure.
when I bought this property, as I was going to learn more about Windsor, I could go and see more complexes and be like, okay, no, this one is selling for that price because of that. This one is renting out for that price because of that. So as much as I was seeing the property itself, I was learning about the area. This is part of the due diligence phase. It's also another reason as to why it took so long to buy the property because everything looked great on paper,
Okay.
but lots of people were saying, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. But everything looked great on paper, and I'm the type of person that you can tell me, do this or don't do that. I need to know why. You cannot just tell me, don't do this or don't do it. So when I was there, I researched. I asked all the various questions. I made notes about what I see and everything. And that's when I knew the area, where to buy, what makes the area bad, what makes the area great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all that due diligence, once I got everything I needed to make that made me feel comfortable to go in and do a deal, I was great. So there were lots of deals that I dropped because something came up and I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Like
Before
what?
actually,
What is it that you would walk away from?
I would walk away from, for example, in Windsor, if there's subletting in a place,
Okay.
lots of subletting, it
Yeah.
immediately drops the value down.
Sure.
Or just the look of the place. And you could even speak to people there and just speaking to people, you get so much info. They tell you about what's happening in the complex or this and that. And that would be like just as I'm about to put in an offer. And sometimes those details actually help because I actually put in really, in my world, good offers. I mean, someone has a property of 400,000, you decide you're going to offer it 250 rand.
Yeah.
That's a good offer for me, but insulting to them. But I tell them, I'm putting in this offer because you have subletting here. This is happening there. There's no gate there. The gate is always open. People can come in and out as they please. So the closest, my first form of thinking was, let me look for something that I would stay in a complex I would stay at. And at first, I ruled that out first because I was like, nah, that means I want to stay in what do you call this, in a penthouse. So I had to lower my standards and make it as humble as possible. And that's where I had all my criteria set out for that specific area as to this is these are the what do I say, the criteria that would make me buy a place.
Sure.
And once accomplished, the street, how the street was,
Yeah.
how the complex was, that's what made me say, okay, let me go look in there. I'm gonna be more serious about this, and let me put it in offer here. So the one I had, I saw it in the beginning. This is when I was learning about the area. I saw it in the beginning and came back to it about 4 months later.
4 months.
4 months later, because
Yeah.
with this property, what is it? The owner was financially distressed. I think
Yeah.
he had lost his job, I think, and needed to get rid of the place. Um, so then they had, it was a two-bedroom place. They had it on the market for about 400,000.
Okay.
I saw it, I liked it, and I was like, okay, I'll give you 250. And then like state agent explained to me, cannot go lower than 300,000 because that's what she's owed the bank. I was like, okay, that's the ceiling there. That would be, and surprisingly, the numbers worked out for me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't convinced in the first one. This during my due diligence phase, I wasn't convinced about the property because I did not know it. So it took me another 4 months to actually. This is me knowing the area
Yeah.
as well as property investment myself.
Sure.
So I wasn't ready to jump into it at that time because I had not answered a few questions that I needed answered before. By the time the 4 months came, I was more than prepared.
So what were you doing in the 4 months period?
In the 4 months, I was looking at other areas.
Okay.
I wasn't sure about the area.
Sure.
I wasn't, um, and between those 4 months, I had my first training and my second training. The second training was more intense, and
Okay.
that's where I learned more. Apart from that, I was also checking out sources on the internet. So
Okay.
when you're bombarded with all this information, you have to process it. That took
Sure.
some time to process because, like I said, there were lots of questions like, what happens if a tenant doesn't pay if I go into a tenant? What do I do if I'm trying to flip the place and people are not interested in the amount I'm offering? You see, what do I do then? So it's lots of what do I do? What do I do? And I had to research, I had to ask questions, I had to find out. So until I got all those answers that made me feel comfortable, I put an entire plan together of what do I do if this happens, if that happens. So
Yeah.
until I had every answer, I was not going to put money somewhere, especially because this was new for me. So that's the part that took most of the time because every time I put in an offer to purchase, my heart would beat because I get so scared. I'm thinking, I hope my numbers are right. I hope I've done everything right over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, eventually I got over that. For this property in particular,
Yeah.
they got an offer in of 350, and I was like, damn. So they no, I'm telling the story wrong actually. The same complex, I was choosing a different one opposite.
Okay.
Um, yeah, this one was they had it on for 450. It was duplex, um, and I really wanted it, but there was so much work to be done. Someone told me it's going to cost something like 50,000. I was like, what? And because we checked everything, I went there. I spent so much time at this property. I actually loved it. We loved it. But then we cut so many things out um, that were like, okay, this one's not going to be worth it. I sent an offer in, owner didn't come back or anything, so I don't know where that went. I said, okay, cool. Because I put in an offer for 300,000. I was still willing to work with it because the numbers did work, and because you're a first-time investor, you feel pressure. You just want to get it out of the way. You just want to get the first one out of the way.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't go with that. I calmed myself down. I said, you're rushing into this and you do not have all the details. Left that one. Then there was another one. This was in, I don't, you should know, the spa in Windsor. In
Yeah.
East.
Who doesn't know where Spy is, man?
Exactly. So we found an apartment there.
Yeah.
And this is where I learned something else that was this blew my mind completely. It changed so much for me now. And it had a direct concept, a direct impact on the current property I had. So we went to this property in the same street. It was basically just next door to the spa. Now note, my one criteria for buying Windsor was to avoid the spa. So this is where this deal was already going wrong. So we went in, saw the complex. Complex was secured, looked great. Um, basically, it looked at the time like there was 5% to 0% subletting. Excellent. Went in, place was a 3-bedroom apartment, looked great. This is how it was made, a 3-bedroom apartment. Actually a 1-bedroom apartment, and they used what they call it, vinyl walling, something like that.
They use drywalling. Yeah.
Yeah, drywalling
Yeah.
to create. So they eliminated the lounge.
You okay?
So the lounge is this little small piece, and now they
Yeah.
have 3 rooms there, and they
Oh,
were
nice,
selling it.
sweet.
Yeah, so they were selling it for 380. 380,000. I'm like, 3-bedroom place in Windsor. This can rent out for like 7,000, 8,000. I'm gonna make money here. Is my thinking at the time. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
money. And as we're there, we're asking the owner, why are you selling? He's like, struggling to sleep. Yeah, it's my going because it's noisy there in that street the entire time. I
Yeah.
did not listen to that fact. I did not listen to it. I was just like, 3-bedroom, money, lots of money. That's what happened there. And wanted to put an offer in, but then the next week the estate agent told me the owner changed his mind. I am so
Oh,
grateful for that owner changing his mind. I am so grateful because we were ready to purchase that place. We were absolutely ready to purchase it. I tell you now, if that owner didn't decide to change his mind, we would
yeah.
have bought that.
Yeah.
So owner dropped that place, and now everything was drying up. No other properties were making sense. And I went back to this first one, the one that I have right now. I went back there. I spoke to the state agent. I said, I want this property. He said to me, look, I can give it to you for 300,000 because that's how much the owner owes the bank, and she needs to get rid of this property.
Sure.
Went and looked at my numbers again, and I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let let's do it. Put in the offer to purchase, bought the place, and this is where one of my no, it's a 2-bedroom place.
Yeah.
Um,
And what's the
so
rental
this
like in that area?
in that area, no, it is great. It's going for 6,000, but you'll understand now why it's going for 6,000 rent now.
Nice. Well done.
Thank you, thank you. What happened is, if I could explain, um, the place is a 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
It has a really big lounge,
Yeah.
obviously the bathroom and the kitchen. So the kitchen was in an awkward place that could be a nice sized room. So what we then did, which is my girlfriend's idea, credit to her,
Yeah.
I kept talking
Oh, you got
about the
another partner.
drywall.
So you got
Yeah,
your
no,
mom
no, she's
partner
like,
and now your girlfriend. Yeah.
oh yes, I did tell you what happened. So this is where it took so long to get a tenant.
Okay.
So earlier this year, I decided I had never moved out before. I had never moved out of my mother's house. So I decided to move into this apartment while it was in the registration process.
Okay.
Okay, so I moved in there. So it gave me a lot of time to see what is wrong with this place and everything. So I moved in there.
So you
And then
went
we had a
in to
great
test
time.
the
We
pudding
stayed in there
before
for
you got
another
it.
6 weeks. Huh?
I said you went in to test the pudding before you got it.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So we then so we were there. So it was another 3 months before the property was registered, and then we
Yeah.
stayed in there another 3 or 4 months, enjoying ourselves.
Sure.
So that was mistake number one. That was mistake number one for this year.
I can imagine you
Because
enjoyed it.
I did. I did. This was my first time being out of my mother's house. It was the first time. And I'm even when I think back about it, I think I would have done it again. I would have stayed there again.
Yeah.
So when we were there, it was a 2-bedroom place. Remember, a very big lounge. So if I could just position it for you. If I divide the page in half, let's say this side is the lounge and the bathroom up here.
Yeah.
Over here, this side is room number 1, room number 2, room number 3. And like over here is the balcony.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
room number 3 over here is the kitchen.
Yeah.
This is the main room, and this is the second room.
Sure.
So what my girlfriend decided, because I was talking about drywalling the whole time, drywalling. She's like, no, don't be an idiot. Take the kitchen out of here, move it just behind the bathroom, Still
Yeah.
have a big piece of the lounge over here, and now we have 3 rooms.
Was your plumbing allowing to do that?
Absolutely.
Oh, nice. Well done.
Plum- Plumbing allowed. So now we have a place
Yeah.
that was on sale for 2 bedroom. We bought it for 1 bedroom price, and we're renting out as 3.
My man. High five to you.
Thank you, thank you. So that's where I talked about the drywalling in that other apartment.
Yeah.
To see how it was applicable here to change your property. So now, going forward, such is in my consideration when I look at a property. So I always think about when I go look at a property. I always think about how can I transform this to be much more than it already is.
So you're always wanting to create more living space.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, cool. And I think that's the beauty of investing. If you can create more living space, you can fetch more money.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So well done
And
on that one. Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So having to look at, this is your first deal, and it's looking like you've aced it. We didn't speak about your renovation. How much did you sink on the renovations thing?
The renovations, another learning curve here.
Yeah.
In total was about 20,000. Looking back,
Only.
could have been only. Looking back, I could have actually chopped it down to 10,000.
Really?
Yeah, no, I made.
Kitchen, bruh?
Sorry?
I said you moved
Yeah,
the
new
kitchen.
kitchen. Yeah, I moved the kitchen. I could have chopped it down. I could have chopped it down. But the
Yeah.
kitchen, believe it or not, the
Did you
kitchen.
really use everything though?
No. Scrapped everything. It was very old. It was completely old. It's when I spoke to the other tenants who stay in the complex, they said
Yeah.
nobody lived there for the past year or year and a half.
Okay.
You see,
Yeah.
so the wood was really bad. Even when we were staying there, before
Yeah.
we did renovations, we barely even used any of the kitchen space. So it was really bad. It looks beautiful now.
Cool. Good. Good, Chad. Well done on your first property. We're expecting more from you. No pressure. But I'm sure it's a new, man. It's a new.
Yeah, no. I think once you get the first one, you
Yeah.
want more, and that's what I was talking about when we moved in, and
Yeah.
enjoyed another luxurious four months staying there.
Yeah.
Now looking back, by the time the property was registered, I should have I should have done renovations in the first week and rented it out, put it on the market for the following week. I think I would have been on my second or third property today, but I had to enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I learned my lesson. Let's start with 19.
That is cool. If you had to give any 3 tips, well, no, 3 is just a number, but any
Yeah.
tips that you can give to anyone who's just about to start, because you started already, right? So you're on a roll. Any tip that you can give to the next person on actually how can they start, trying to get to this vehicle that we know is financial freedom? What would be your tips? Top of mind.
I think from the top of my head, my first tip would be cut down on the unnecessary spending and save. But don't save, put it in the bank. Save for goal of investing.
Okay,
Um,
good.
After that, due diligence. Due diligence. Cover yourself every single angle that you can. And that feeds into my third tip, which would be, um, actually forgot it now. Where's my third tip? Just hold on. It's due diligence. Oh, plan for worst case scenario. Always
Okay.
plan for worst case scenario. Anything that you think that can go bad,
Yeah.
plan for it. That's how I look at my deals. And if you are happy with the results of everything going bad, then I believe that's a good deal because all the good will just fall through afterwards.
Okay. Good. Good. All right. So you've done your first deal, and you keep on referring to, there's some lessons that you have learned. Any 1 or 2 tips from a lesson learned on a mistake that you have you have experienced that you think that if you're to give that tip to someone, especially on your project, on this project here that you've done, if they avoid that, they would be 3 steps ahead?
Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate.
My man.
All everything, every single thing,
Yeah.
negotiate it. It will save you in the long run so much. Just negotiate.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, Chad, for coming onto the show. We wish you all the success. Next year, we're expecting, it took you what, 4 months to get onto this first one, right? So, so no
No. Next
pressure.
year it's going to be so much next year.
Yeah.
So we can do this again next year. I should have 3 or 4. I should have those ones to hold me to this, and we'll talk.
Good, good. Are you open for people to poke you and have conversations with you around what you're doing? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, or you guys can email me.
Yeah. What's your handle on Facebook?
Facebook. I'm not even sure. You can just Google Chad Ackerman. You can see his pretty face. And
Oh, really?
just friend me or just message me, and I will get back to you.
Okay, good. So you're on Facebook. Any other social medias you on besides Facebook?
All the others are just for my music platforms.
Okay.
So
Oh, you into music as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why, hence financial freedom, that I can do as much music as I love.
Good. Chad, thanks a lot. And to everyone else, this is Chad Ackerman we've been talking to, and he's got his first project that he's landed out in Randbeck South it's called Windsor actually, and he is all smiles, and he is banking, having cash in his pocket after paying his bond, his levies, his rates and taxes, and you still have money in the pocket, and that's what we cash flow. And on this channel, this is what we advocate for in terms of creating your financial freedom. So if we take an assumption that Chad is banking 1,000 Rand every month, imagine if he has 10 of these, it means that he's banking 10 grand. Think about it. Anyways, thanks a lot for tuning in. Much love. God bless. And again to you, Chad. Cheers, man. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.